Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Carlos. Today I want to be going over the back session, its highlights and the reason for the exercise selection, and what a fun time we had at the gym. It was great. I've been having this brewing in my mind of how to continue to progress with the PRs and which direction to take this. It's been working. I've been making progress, and all that's well and fine. There are times when you hit a wall, in the sense that either there's the struggle is to find more strength if you can't overcome a certain weight or a certain rep. That hasn't really been the issue lately. The issue has been mostly just keeping at the grind. And I shouldn't really be saying that it's been an issue. I've been grinding. I've been going at it. I haven't really missed a workout. And yesterday is just one of those days where I had programmed myself to go do the work. I've been watching Nick Walker videos and Brett Wilkin and these guys that are just blue collar, go in every day, day in, day out, and put in the work. A lot of people just think that there's some kind of magic formula, or if you take this drug and you eat this way, you're going to get that type of muscle and that type of strength. And the reality is, it's just a lot of hard work. You just have to come in and do the work. Now, how much work do you have to do? Well, it's a lot. It's a lot of work. Yesterday, the session was written out. I'm going to put up the part where I select the exercises and the volume and all of that. I'll put that into the video. So I write out my routines. They're fairly ambitious when I'm fresh and clear in my head in the morning. And, so I write out these ambitious routines. They're routines that are doable, but I make them challenging on paper. I say, well, if I do this exercise and then I go and do this other one, and then at the end I'll just mash it all up with this heavy compound. And so I kind of scheme these things in my mind. What would be the hardest, most grueling, most beneficial workout to get what I want? And so that's the way I designed this particular workout. Today I wasn't thinking of going for my maximum weight, the maximum PR. I wanted to design a workout that was volume intensive, intense, and that would just help me progress as far as work capacity. So, what's the big idea? The big idea is to leave a big compound, your most competent lift, the one that you're most able to perform with the highest, the biggest weight, at the very end. Why? Because we're not going for an absolute PR on that lift. We're using our capacity and our strength to use that lift to incorporate every other lift into it. So let me explain. When I do a heavy deadlift, I feel it in the calves. I feel it in my abs. I feel it in my glutes. I feel it in my hamstrings. And obviously, I feel it in my back. So for starters, I started out with calves. I bombed the calves with 5 sets of 30 reps, very short rests. From there, I went and warmed up with a back pump on the hammer machine, which is excellent for pumping the back. That particular machine has a cable where you just reach up and pull down. So I did a superset of the low row hammer, and then immediately grabbed the cable and did some close grip pull downs, and that was fantastic. Did 3 sets of those. I didn't do my maximum weight. I didn't max out on that because I didn't want to get that tired at the beginning. At the start of the routine, there were some other heavy lifts to be accomplished, but that pumped me up completely. And then from there, I didn't have it written in my program. I deviated from it a little bit. I did some abdominals. So I did some hanging abs supersetted with the machine crunches with 50 pounds. That's a very light weight, but it's enough just to really get the mind-muscle connection and contract and feel. And I almost cramped up. I almost cramped up to the point where I was like, oh my God, my ab. Oh, man. So that was great. And then from there, went to the hamstrings, the leg curls. Those machines really get me, get the legs pumped up. And I'm really worried about my leg mass right now, because as men age, after a certain age, the leg muscles tend to be the first ones to go. Now, I don't believe that you can't build up the muscle after a certain age. I I don't believe that at all because I'm building them up right now. But I do believe that my legs are just woefully lacking in mass. And so, in spite of me being able to do heavy weights on the squats, some isolation movements are very much called for to build up those specific areas. Mostly the back of my legs. I was looking at the video, and my God, I look like I have sarcopenia or something, that I'm just, I'm just losing muscle or something. But that's not true because I've been gaining a little bit of weight after a couple of months of trying to bulk without moving that scale. I'm finally up 3 or 4 pounds. I'm up from 192 to 196 this morning. So that was an accomplishment. Gee, I'm up 14, 15 pounds from the bottom where I started at 182. So back to the exercise selection. From there, after doing these preliminary warm-ups, although they're very hard, I mean, I was doing 4 or 5 sets of each exercise, taking them into high reps. And by the time I got to my back routine, I was, into the workout. It's like I'm thinking, wow, this is a lot of work, but I'm enjoying it. So I went to the T-bars, and T-bar is a highly effective movement, for me at least. So I did 3, 4 sets of those with between 200 and, what was the max here? 275 pounds, including the bar. Got a great stretch. My rib cage felt like it was going to pop out. I put plenty of structural challenge onto my thorax. Even if it doesn't look like a lot of weight on the video, I'm striving to get that mind-muscle connection. I feel every fiber in the back, contracting and doing its thing. So that was great. From there, we went to the low row cables. Excellent exercise. Very fatiguing. They're not, you think about them before you do them because they leave me gasping, doing supersets with dumbbell, 100-pound dumbbell. So up to there, I was, patting myself on the back. It's a good workout. I'm getting all the work done. Plenty of volume, lots of sets, plenty of reps. And just getting into the workout. So at the very end of the workout was the deadlift. Something that should be done first and foremost. The heaviest, most fatiguing movement you do at first so you're able to perform it. But again, like I said, the purpose here was to use that exercise to do a final mash on the body and get a mind-muscle connection on every single fiber, from my calf muscles to my abdominals, obviously to the traps and everything else, the erectors, everything goes. So the idea was to go up to 4 plates. I started out with 2, doing the nice cadence, repetition, really squeezing every muscle. And I was feeling it a bit in the hips because the low row and the T-bar do fatigue the lower back to an extent, and the hips. So I felt that if I went up to 4 plates, it would have been risky because I was tired, I was fatigued, and I wasn't concentrating as hard as I could for that maximum lift. And I said to myself, why am I going to do 4 plates if I'm not going to be able to do my PR, which is 8 reps? I might get 4 or 5, and I just leave it at 3 plates. And that's what I did. I did a couple of sets with 3 plates, really just focusing on that squeeze on the mind muscle. And and today, 24 hours after the session, I can look back on it and say it was a great volume session. I did progress. It was helpful. It was a muscle building session. How important is it? Well, without that session, today's session and tomorrow's session would not be possible or as productive as they could be. So every single workout is a link in that long chain of progress. Every one is important. Every single work, unless it's a bomb, unless you're not stimulating the muscle at all, it's just not a productive workout, then I wouldn't include it. I wouldn't even write it down. I would just go home. But every single one of these workouts has been incredibly productive. And the message, I guess, today for all of you out there is to get the work done. You can't outsmart hard work. And I attribute that quote to Big Mike Wick in Canada. Shout out to him. Great trainer. I watch all his stuff. And it's just the absolute truth. He's saying people are trying to outsmart hard work. They design systems and workouts and routines and use exercises and machines that are designed to give them the least amount of challenge and discomfort for the most return. And it just doesn't work that way. When it comes to physique and bodybuilding, it's all about hard work. The harder the work, the more productive it is. The more grueling, the more uncomfortable, the more difficult, the least desirable thing that you gravitate to, like, walking barbell lunges or those deficit deadlifts and all those things. They're very hard to do. They're just very challenging. They're grueling. Well, that's what's required to build a body to that level. That's the way the game is, man. The harder the work, of course, you have to do it intelligently. But again, you can't outsmart hard work, and you can't outsmart a deficit in a diet. People are coming up with ideas of this is a topic for another day, diet, and getting lean and cutting and bulking. I'll leave that for another video. But yeah, you just can't outsmart hard work. So that's the message today for all you guys, out there and that are trying to be the best that you can be with this bodybuilding and lifting journey. Just remember, work as hard as you can. Design these workouts to be grueling, to be taxing, and program them so you do increase your weights progressively over time. You don't need to increase the weight on every single session. That's not really needed as long as there is a upward progression over time, and I'm talking about months, semesters, and years. So your lifts should be better this year than they were last year, but it doesn't mean you're squatting 50 more pounds this month than last month. It might dip a little sometimes. When you feel those dips in performance, go for other parameters. Try to, increase your volume, your work capacity. Do, some cardio, some aerobic activity to increase your capacity to do this work. But don't make that a focus, because you'll lose muscle and you'll lose sight of what it is that you're trying to do, which is build muscle. You don't build muscle on the treadmill. You build muscle lifting heavy weights. So all that being said, thank God for, just being able to, get up in the morning and do these routines. Health is first and foremost. Without it, what could we do? So thank God, praise God for all his good, bounty and blessing and all of that. So just everybody have a wonderful day. God bless everybody, and we'll see you next time.